Hi, I'm Christy.
And I'm Richard, and welcome back to our YouTube channel,
Fulfill the Game of Life.
Well, we are terribly excited to continue down our video path and show you guys what we're experiencing in Portugal and our early retirement. We got 5 days worth of experiences we want to show you, but before we get started, we're going to ask you to hit the like button and please hit the subscribe button, and so you'll be aware of our future videos. So 5 days into Portugal, what's it like in Lisbon, Portugal? Well, let's start with this. Through all my life, every time I traveled, and it's simply no different here, people are people.
They are.
People are living the daily life. They go to work, they make money, they pay their bills, travel from place to place, they eat out at restaurants, they buy groceries, they hang out with friends. Actually, a lot of that here, right? But people are just people. The more important thing, though, is the people we've experienced so far, without exception, there's not one exception, have been friendly and professional. They've been very warm, helpful, courteous to us. We've had really good interactions when we go out to eat. We had a lady yesterday trying to teach us how to say, and she spoke multiple languages very fluently. And she was, we asked her, how do you say, can we get the bill?
Yes, a conta.
A conta. So she was extremely friendly and very forgiving or accommodating, and teaching us how to speak the native language. The Uber driver
was very helpful in teaching us how to say good morning, good afternoon, and good night. When we got in the car, he said, was it boa tarde? I think it was boa tarde. So anyway, but he was extremely friendly, very helpful, very warm. So it was good. People definitely are people everywhere you go.
The next big question, though, is I think would be the most curious question everyone would have, is what's it really like? And we think we're going to summarize it by saying, well, instead of telling you what's different, which we're going to do that in the next video, but instead of telling you what's different, we're going to tell you what's the same. What's the same between living here and living in America? So let me start with this. Everyone has a cell phone. Everyone has an internet. When you sit down in the restaurants, there are Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi in the restaurant for internet.
So that's nothing that you're going to miss. I mean, some people might think, well, what am I going to do about a phone, or do they have internet? It's like they think of a new country as if it's not developed, and so it's just not the case.
Just not the case. Of course, our flat has television. You hear radio, though we've not listened to radio, but you heard it when we're in the taxi. And as I put on Facebook, you do actually hear American music. It is less prominent. We did go down to purchase ice cream just downstairs, in which it was 80s American music was playing, both songs while we were there. So, you get a little bit of a mix of different cultures. And then, of course, everywhere you go, just like in America, there are advertisements for things, right? They're working to sell you things or show you things and those things. But the normal daily life, and maybe as a little bit of a side note, understand for us, we're coming from rural Georgia, in a place where there's 20 to 30,000 population. And then here you're in the capital city. This is very much like living in New York City, I can imagine. Now, I've never lived in New York City, but I've been there a few times, where everything is real close and densely populated. So understand that what we see here is different almost only because of population, not because of a real difference in the country. Internet, TV, radio, advertisements, everywhere you go, you have exposure to both.
There's quite a few hospitals within walking distance, again, because it's such a condensed area, population, and pharmacies. I know some people have a lot of ailments, and they're afraid, am I going to be close to a hospital? What if this happens? I mean, there's just a lot of comfort knowing that if you get sick, there's, right over here, there's a hospital right across the street, there's a pharmacy right across the street,
And again, this is probably similar to what you would experience in New York City, but there are just hospitals everywhere. I mean, even in our small town in Georgia, you have to get in a car, and you're at least 7 or 8 minutes from the hospital. Now, assuming you could walk, right? You could walk yourself to a hospital here in 7 or 8 minutes. And honestly, right, we would go straight downstairs, and we'd be 2 minutes from the entrance to a hospital. So when you pull it up on Google Maps, it's surprising how many hospitals there are. But there's, again, a lot of population density. As Christy said, though, there's pharmacies just down the street. There are jewelry stores. You see those?
Right, a lot of the same stores. You have types of stores. You have grocery stores, very close, and quite a few. You have, like he said, jewelry stores, a lot of banks. You see so many ATMs everywhere. So
ATMs are everywhere.
Hair salons, definitely noticed quite a few hair salons and barber shops, nail salons, no shortage of those.
And that's all within short walking distance
within a mile.
Yeah,
really.
Within 2 directions. Right, we've only gone out a couple of different ways, so we've yet to go north from here at all. So everything we're describing, we've just seen, not in a square mile. Honestly, it's more like a half a square mile.
And like you said, restaurants everywhere. There's
restaurants
so
are
many
just
restaurants
everywhere. It's literally practically endless. You know, in Georgia, where we're from, there's probably a total of 10 restaurants. Here, by the time you get down to the main area, you've passed 10 restaurants, and that's one street walking down.
Right. And different kind of food.
Yeah.
But you know, one thing I've noticed here too is that you know, there was only a couple of bakeries where we live, but there's literally 2 right down the stairs from where the flat is here. So we have a couple different choices.
Yeah, pastries seem to be much more popular here than in America. People eat them continuously. There's stores for selling pastries quite regularly, to your point. But we've seen Mexican restaurants, we've seen Indian restaurants, and Greek restaurants, and Italian pizza restaurants, and of course Portuguese food everywhere. So the food, again, comparing this to New York City, I'm sure is very similar. Though I don't know if I've seen very much Oriental food now that I think about it.
I saw one Japanese food.
Okay.
And then you have the U.S. Restaurants, like the fast food. We did, on the way to the bank, we did see a Burger King. Richard walked upstairs and took some photos.
I want to take a photo of the prices. So in a future video, I'm going to show you the price difference between America and Portugal for Burger King and any fast food or the general fast food restaurants.
And then while we were on the metro, we saw advertisements for McDonald's and KFC.
So we know those 3 chains are definitely here, and we've yet to find the McDonald's. We're not really looking for McDonald's. You don't come this far and go straight to a McDonald's, right? But we will eventually trip across them. We'll show you what they look like and what the menu differences are.
What else?
There are hamburger joints that make just hamburgers. There are cell phone stores, just like you'd see in America. Of course, they're smaller. There's a computer store just down and maybe 100 yards away. Of course, parking garages, as you would expect. Cinemas.
Right. Premium stores. I know I had a family ask me about the shopping around here, and there's clothing stores, and if you like shopping in the premium stores, there's a few that I noticed. There's a Rolex store. There was Gucci, and I noticed a Louis Vuitton. So
and again, if you pull it up not very far, we've not walked by it, but there is a Ferrari dealership downtown. Again, watching this video, you have to adjust that this is the New York City of Portugal, right? So the top name brands are going to want to be here. They're on the main strip going down. So
very beautiful main strip.
Yes,
very well kept.
Covered with trees, very nice, nicely put together. And as in any big city, but maybe more so in Europe than in America, there's construction going on. There are buildings that are
being renovated.
Yeah, there's no telling how old some of them are.
Right.
But there are buildings being worked on, there are streets being worked on, and that's pretty much what you see even in rural Georgia. You see that.
Right.
One of the differences as well, though, there are parks. but the parks are used.
Definitely. You see a lot of people out socializing, having events, playing basketball. We passed a basketball court, and there was quite a few people out there. And
every day
and they used it too to play volleyball.
Yep.
We noticed that one day when we were walking past there, and outdoor ping pong table. That was interesting because it was a very windy day, and I was like, how do you play ping pong on a really windy day? So that was interesting to watch. It was fun. It was really fun to watch.
Yeah, and you don't see that in rural Georgia. You see parks, and you might see one person there every week. And every park you walk by here, there are people there, and in some cases a lot of people. So that's pretty cool. There are pets everywhere.
People walking their pets.
People walking their pets just like in America.
Right.
There are dogs everywhere. We have seen a few cats. There seem to be more dogs than cats.
Yeah.
But there are pets everywhere. And again, typical, just like you'd live in America. So it's the very last thing. We'll close this video out. Google Maps changes the world. If you were to come to a city like this pre-Google Maps, with the number of streets and the way in which they tee off and go at different angles, finding things would be a real challenge. Google Maps is a beautiful thing. You can set it up for walking directions. It'll literally tell you which way to walk.
It definitely saves you, especially if you're reading challenged as far as reading a map.
Yeah, that's probably a good point. But anyway, it just makes life here, seeing all the restaurants and understanding your choices. You'd have had a hard time doing that pre-Google Maps. You'd be asking everyone. But the bottom line is this. We're going to close the video out, and we're going to tell you, 5 days in Portugal, it's a beautiful, beautiful life right now. Practically everything that you live with, we have here in Lisbon, Portugal. There are really very few changes. We're going to make our next video on the things that we do find to be different, but there's just nothing significant. We didn't leave anything behind other than physical family.
Right, but I mean, I've been walking my family around the flat on WhatsApp or FaceTime on Facebook, and that really makes it feel like family's really not that far. So that helps a lot, and I know it helps my family a lot to make it seem like like I haven't left. So it's nice.
Yep. So when you think about, do I really want to do this? What would I be giving up? How would my life be different? We can say to you very clearly, you give up nothing. You gain a sense of adventure and things to see that you've never seen. You give up none of the modern comforts
exactly
that you experience in America and in big city America. And honestly, we're finding what we think are advantages of the large city life, which we've never lived. So as this story continues to develop, we'll continue to make some videos. We ask that you tune in. If you like this video,
please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well.
And if you have any questions, just scroll down below the video, plug in your question. We'll respond as quickly as we can. And that's all for now. We look forward to our next video.
Thank you.